Mr. Philip Smith, the state may call their next witness.
State calls Dorian Price.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Would you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. And I'll just ask if you'll do your best, kind of pull that microphone. Be sure to speak loudly and clearly so we can all hear you. Also, if it's a yes or a no question, be sure to say yes or no, not just an uh-huh or a head nod so the court reporter can take everything down.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may proceed.
Good morning. Would you state your name for the court and then spell it for the court?
Dorian Price, D-O-R-I-A-N, last name Price, P-R-C-E.
And Dorian, you understand why we're here today, right?
Yes, sir.
Turning your attention to May 17th of last year, were you at the SNS Grocery on Concord
Yes, sir.
a little bit before noon?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing there?
I had just received a call from a lost man. I was driving a tow truck and I was sitting in the parking lot putting the address in for my next call when I witnessed a guy chasing another guy with a gun.
Okay, would you describe for the court, describe the man who had the gun. What did he look like?
And just like that, this witness drops the kind of testimony prosecutors love, a neutral bystander with no apparent connection to either side. According to Price, he wasn't looking for trouble. Trouble practically drove right into his field of vision. But as every courtroom veteran knows, eyewitness testimony can be powerful, and it can also become a battleground.
Black male, he had braids, and he was driving a blue and purple Lincoln Navigator.
Kind of a dark color,
Yes,
blue, Lincoln Navigator.
Yes, sir.
What did the gun itself look like?
If I'm not mistaken, it was black and chrome, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what was the man who was driving the Navigator, what was he wearing?
I don't recall from the clothing at the time.
Okay. Do you remember if he had a shirt on at all?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe he didn't have a shirt on at the time.
Didn't have a shirt, just had
Yes,
on
sir.
jeans?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did he, what was he doing with that gun?
Chasing the guy pointing at the guy at the store.
Okay. And the guy he was chasing, what was he wearing? Do you remember?
No, sir, I don't remember. No, sir.
Okay. Were you there when the police arrived?
Yes, sir.
And what happened at that time or shortly before that time?
The officer pulled into the driveway, activated his lights, and the vehicle drove around the pumps and took off on Concord.
Had the man who was driving that Navigator, had he stopped chasing the other man with the braids and got in his vehicle?
Yes, sir.
And then when the police arrived, he was in the vehicle already?
Yes, sir.
And when the police got there with their lights on, he didn't stop, he kept going?
He just shot out the parking lot and kept going.
Did he fire the gun at the man?
No, sir.
But he brandished it, you could see the gun?
Yes, sir.
Was the other man running from the man with the gun?
Yes, sir.
What did the man running from him do? Did he go into the grocery store?
He went into the, I think it was the barber shop next door. He ran in there.
Okay. And for the judge, you've got the grocery store kind of on one end, and then you've got a couple other businesses there, right?
Yes, sir.
And there's a barber shop.
Yes, sir.
Now, did the man in the Navigator, did he kind of drive around that parking lot, kind of chase him, or did you see him just out of the vehicle?
He drove around for a minute, and if I'm not mistaken, he had parked in front of the store for a second and started chasing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And this didn't look to you, did you know either one of these people?
No, sir.
Did it look to you like this was some kind of a game or play acting?
No, sir.
The man running from the gun appeared to be afraid?
Yes, sir.
The man with the gun appeared to be angry?
Yes, sir.
And this happened at, in Beaumont, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Notice the key details being established here. The witness says one man looked terrified while the other appeared angry and armed. In an aggravated assault case, those observations can be incredibly important because prosecutors aren't just trying to prove someone had a gun, they're trying to prove the victim reasonably feared imminent harm.
That's good stuff.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Price. I was writing when he first started questioning you. When on this May 17th, did I misunderstand you when you first saw this man who didn't have a shirt on? Were you sitting at the grocery store parking lot?
I was sitting inside my tow truck, yes, sir.
On the parking lot of
In
the
parking lot.
grocery store,
Yes, sir.
and that's the first time that you saw somebody chasing,
Yes, sir.
or a man with no shirt chasing somebody. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And are you certain of that, of everything else you testified to here today?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember giving a written statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you remember telling the police that I was going south on Concord, going to a call, and that's when I seen a black male with no shirt chasing another black male with a handgun at the blue car wash on Concord?
Yeah, they started big.
Did you make that statement?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Do you agree that that statement is totally inconsistent with your testimony that you just gave when you just told the judge that the first time you saw that man, you were sitting in your...
Here comes the defense's favorite weapon, prior inconsistent statements. Defense counsel has spotted a discrepancy between the witness's courtroom testimony and the statement he gave police. The goal? Plant a seed of doubt. If the judge starts questioning the witness's memory, the entire narrative becomes harder to trust.
You were sitting in your truck in the parking lot at the grocery store.
That was the first time, yes, sir.
It was hot?
That was the first time. He chased him across the street.
So when you testified under oath earlier that the first time you saw this guy was in your truck when you were sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store, that was not true.
It was the first time I seen him. I actually followed him from the grocery store to across the street.
Maybe I'm not making myself clear. When you gave your statement, you said I was going south on Concord,
Yes, sir.
which means you were driving your truck,
Yes, sir.
all right?
Yes, sir.
And you say that you were going to a call, and that's when I saw a black male with no shirt chasing another black male.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that can't be true if you were sitting in your truck in the parking lot of the grocery store. So which is it? Which is true?
I seen him at the grocery store first. He proceeded, he chased the guy from the grocery store to the car wash.
Okay, may I approach witness?
Sure.
Show you, call it D1. You recognize that statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Is that your handwriting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you say in here that I was going south on Concord, going to a call?
Yes, sir.
That's when I seen a black male? So is it true that you were driving your truck, going south on Concord?
I was sitting at
Wait,
the SNS
let me
Grocery.
finish my sentence. You can't take two people. You can talk at the same time. When you were going south on Concord, going to a call, that's when you saw the black man. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Well, why did you write that down?
I seen him at the grocery store. And they should have cameras when I see him on the camera.
Well, did you write that down, that you were sitting at the grocery store? When you saw this guy?
Thought I wrote it down in there.
Well, isn't it true? I mean, you gave everybody the impression in your statement that you were driving your truck and you look over and you supposedly saw some
I
guy.
was sitting at the grocery store. SNS
All right, so you keep interrupting me.
I think
Please
all
don't
that's
interrupt.
it's all been asked and answered. And you can step back over here if you're done with that as well, please.
So you'd agree with me there's a big difference between you seeing somebody where you're sitting in your truck stationary as opposed to you driving your truck going south on Concord and seeing somebody chasing somebody. That's two different things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, when you were driving your truck going south on Concord, like you said in your statement, and you said you saw some guy with no shirt chasing another one. I mean, how far away were you from the guy that was who had no shirt on?
I was sitting in the parking lot. I was in the parking lot where everything was going on.
Okay, so your testimony here today is that your statement that you gave here back when it was fresh in your mind is totally incorrect. Is that correct? This can't be both.
I seen him in the parking lot while I was sitting there.
Gotcha.
And that's when I called the police. He chased the guy to the blue car wash.
Okay, so
And he went back to the SNS store. That's when the police arrived.
we can just ignore what the heck you wrote down here that you were driving your truck going down Concord and saw somebody, allegedly holding a gun chasing somebody. That just didn't happen. That did not happen. Is that correct?
That's the way you want to put it.
Well, that's what you wrote down, but now you're saying that's not true.
Mr. Allpower.
Is that correct?
That's how you want to put it.
Okay. Well, so now your testimony here today is that you're sitting in your truck in the parking lot of a grocery store.
I got camera footage there.
Is that so? And so you look and you see somebody with no shirt on chasing somebody where?
In the parking lot of SNS Grocery.
So when you see him, you say you saw these two people, one chasing the other, actually in the parking lot where you're sitting?
Yes, sir.
Well, you say in your statement that you had to, he's chasing, I'm going south, see somebody with no shirt on chasing another black male with a handgun at the blue car wash. You don't say anything about the grocery store.
That's where I started at the grocery store.
Not at the car wash. But you told the police that it started at the car, you saw them, the first time you saw them, they were at the car wash.
The first time I seen him was at the grocery store. They went to the car wash and they went back to the grocery store.
Okay. The first time you saw him was at the grocery store.
Yes, sir.
But yet you wrote in your statement that the first time you saw him was at the car wash. That's wrong, isn't it?
The first time I seen him was at the grocery store, at the SNS Grocery.
Okay, but you would agree with me that that's not what you wrote here.
I'm not agreeing with you with anything.
Well, let me okay.
Mr. Smith, it's been asked and answered. I get it.
So even in the, well, how far away was the guy that you saw with no shirt? How far away was he from you at the time that you first met?
Hang on. It's really important that you let him finish his question all the way, then answer, because she can't do two. She has to just take one at a time, okay? So let him ask the full question, and then he'll give you an opportunity to answer. Thank you.
How far away was the guy with no shirt while you were sitting in your truck on the parking lot of the grocery store when you saw him?
I'm here to the officer.
Here to where?
The officer.
Okay. And you say that you saw a handgun in his hand.
Yeah, if I didn't see one, I would never call the police.
I didn't hear you.
If I didn't see no gun, I would never call the police.
Well, how do you know it was a handgun?
You know what a gun look like? I know what a gun looks like.
So I'm asking you, how did you know it was a handgun?
It was a gun. I know what a gun looked like.
Okay. Well, how do you know, say it wasn't a pellet gun that looked like a handgun?
You think I was going to watch him shoot him and find out?
I can't hear you.
You think I was going to sit there and wait for him to shoot him and find out?
How do you know it wasn't some other pellet gun or something like that nature that looked like a handgun?
So you think I was gonna sit there and let this guy shoot that guy and just sit there?
Objection, non-responsive.
Listen, so you'll get an opportunity to explain, I'm sure, in just a minute. Mr. Philip Smith will ask you something.
This exchange is getting tense. The defense is trying to force the witness into admitting he never physically examined the weapon. But from the witness's perspective, that's almost a ridiculous suggestion. His response basically boils down to, "I'm not waiting around for someone to get shot just to confirm what kind of gun it is." That's the kind of real-world reaction judges often hear in violent crime cases.
Follow-up questions. So if it's a yes or no question, just say yes or no without the explanation, and know that you'll get an opportunity to tell what you need to, okay? Go ahead.
The point is, you never touched the handgun, right?
I wasn't little. No.
So you never inspected that what you're describing as a handgun, right?
No. I seen
Okay.
it. I
So
seen it.
you don't really know of your own personal knowledge if it was a handgun or not. You're
I
just
know.
assuming that it was a handgun
I know for a fact it was a handgun.
because that's what you think you saw.
I know that's what I saw.
Okay, but you did not inspect it to make sure that it was in fact a handgun. Isn't that correct?
If I seen it, yeah, I inspected it. I seen it. I seen it from my
Did you
own
grab the
perspective.
handgun and inspect it?
No.
All right. So is that the only time that you saw him, that when you're in your truck and you're in the parking lot of the grocery store, you see somebody what appears to you to be a handgun, and he chases this person to where?
It's the blue car wash.
The blue car wash. And how far away is the blue car wash?
About 100 yards.
Huh?
About 100 yards from the SNS Grocery.
About 100 yards. Okay? Like a football field.
Almost, yes, sir.
Okay, so about a football field away, and then from the car wash, what happened?
We got chased back to the SNS Grocery.
On foot?
Yes, sir. The guy, he was in the vehicle and the other guy was on foot. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you gave your statement that I was going south on Concord, going to a call, that's when I see a black male with no shirt chasing another black male with a handgun, you're saying at that time he was in his vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, if he was in his vehicle, how could you see the gun?
He got out of his vehicle and chased him inside the barbershop.
Okay. And that's nowhere on your statement here. Would you agree with me?
What the officers told me, don't just keep it simple. That's what I did.
Okay. So from the car wash, he stays in his car. The guy goes to the barbershop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the guy that was in his car, what did he do?
Get out and try to chase him there, and there had some other people trying to stop it.
Oh, now there's some other people trying to stop him. So there's other witnesses.
There was other people there. I'm the only one called the police.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
So, and again, none of that is in your statement, and none of that, anything like that, is in anything that you told the police. You didn't tell the police about anybody else chasing this man.
Nobody else was chasing him. I didn't say nobody else was chasing him. I said they had other people out there while he was chasing him.
Okay. And so, are you saying that he chased him when he came out of the barber shop? You're saying that the guy was out of his vehicle or still in his vehicle?
He was out of his vehicle.
Okay, when the guy gets out of the barber shop, where does he go?
That's when he started running again.
And where did he run to?
He ran to the blue car wash.
Okay. And what did the guy with the car go?
He chased him down to the blue car wash.
In or out of the car?
Inside the vehicle.
Inside the vehicle.
Yes, sir. Inside the Lincoln.
And then from there, he went where?
Back to SNS. That's when the police finally arrived and the pursuit.
So you're saying he went from the car wash
Yes, sir.
to the grocery store?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember telling the police that the black male ran into the barber shop off of Concord while Randall sat in his blue Lincoln Navigator waiting for him to come out? Price advised that when the black male with dreads left the barber shop, he ran to the grocery store and the guy followed him there in a vehicle. So what you told the police, what you're telling us here today are two different things.
Well, I don't recall what I fully told the police at the time, but I recall what's on my mind now.
All right. Well, is it or is it not true that while you're driving your truck on the way to the call, that you did or did not see somebody chasing
I
somebody?
seen him when I was sitting in SNS Grocery parking lot.
Okay, that's not my question. My question is it or is it not true, like it says in your statement, that you saw somebody chasing somebody else while you were driving your truck going to a call?
Judge, I want to object. That's been asked and answered dozens of times.
It has. Sustained.
Pass the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Philip Smith.
Mr. Price, you were concerned that somebody was going to get shot.
Yes, sir.
Concerned enough that you called 911
Yes, sir.
to alert them that a heavyset black male with no shirt was chasing another black male from the barber shop to the grocery store.
Yes, sir.
You called 911 on your own volition.
Yes, sir.
If you'd have thought it was a pellet gun, would you have done that?
Yes, sir.
If you'd have thought it was some act or some game that they were playing, would you have done that?
Yes, sir.
So you thought this was real.
Yes, sir.
Do you see the person in the courtroom today
Yes,
that was chasing the individual with the braids?
Yes, sir.
Would you point to him and identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
Right there. Yes, sir.
In the red jumpsuit?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let the record reflect he has identified the defendant in this case.
The record will so reflect. Anything else, Mr. Bruce Smith?
Nothing further.
All right. Any objection to Mr. Price being excused?
No, Judge.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused. Thank you for coming, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nothing but the truth. Thank you. And I'm going to do this a little informally. We're not going to get into a whole lot of questions. You stated in the updated pre-sentence report that after the defendant had not reported for more than 90 days that he was changed to an absconder status December 5th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So from February until then in December, February of 2023 to December of 2023, how many times did Mr. Randall report? And if it's helpful, you can set your stuff down on the podium or whatever up here with whatever you need.
You said from February of 2023?
To December. Okay, and when was the last reporting?
Of 2023 was August 10th.
Okay. All right. So once you hit December and that 90-day mark is when you guys changed it to absconder, and that's when that motion was filed and administrative hearing was done, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What about any information that you have with regard to Mr. Randall participating in Spindletop services?
Me personally, I don't have any information. I wasn't an officer at the time.
Okay. Is there anything in the file that you can tell that shows?
Give me 1 second.
Yes, ma'am. And when did you become his officer?
March of this year.
March of this year. So you weren't his officer back then. You're just going by what is. Okay. All right. That clears up the absconder. Go ahead.
Judge, one of the last times he did report before absconding was July 3rd, which they gathered UA and he tested positive for methamphetamine. So we know he's committing multiple felonies over the course of being on probation for a felony offense. He is not a suitable candidate for probation. As the PSI officer stated, they have no desire, they believe the defendant has no desire to comply with the conditions of probation. and he's exhausted all appropriate sanctions and available programs. So we would feel like the only thing left to do is to give him appropriate punishment. We would ask you to take the facts of the underlying crime into consideration. It is an aggravated assault. He's committed another aggravated assault with a firearm this time, and we feel like no less than 16 years in prison would be appropriate in this particular case. So that's what we're asking.
Thank you. Okay, so I just want to go through, Mr. Randall, one of the reasons why I asked the probation officer some specific information about whether or not you had reported during that year, which you did, and it's actually in here. You reported March and April, in July, and then again in August. And you were given information on those about the anger management class. You made a statement that you were taking medication that made you forget about your probation. But, okay, so, but you showed it. So it's not like you started taking medicine and you never showed up. You did show up some of those times. So I've never heard of anyone having any type of medication through Spindletop or otherwise that makes them forget about going 1 week but not forget the next week. You were given, you just quit going to probation. Tested positive for methamphetamine back in July of 2023. Had one more appointment after that, stopped going, and then you're running around chasing someone with a gun and evading on foot and in a car. The underlying offense, and when I look back at that pre-sentence report, the fact that you were given a probation on this case in the first place was a big deal because you have a ton of history out of Louisiana. And so you were given an opportunity. You've had a 15-year sentence in Louisiana. You've had 3 years, 18 months. We've got a couple of times where they couldn't figure it out because Louisiana's not always easy to figure out. You had a probation just in 2021 that was revoked on a driving while intoxicated, and we still gave you a probation after you did what you did to Miss Edwards. Threw her around, hit her in the face, threw her where she hit her head, had to have stitches. Sometimes I look back on these and I wonder why I gave probation in the first place. At this time, I am going to find again that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 6 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Also, find counts 7 and 9 true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated assault, family violence. Sentence you to a term of 15 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. This is not an agreement. You do have some rights to appeal. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification. Mr. Smith, y'all need to get that signed, please, so I can get him a copy after I sign it. I'm also going to hand you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Smith. And then, Mr. Smith, did you already file in the other cases motions to withdrawals or not?
I did, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get that taken care of. Mr. Randall, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to grant Mr. Bruce Smith's motion to withdraw from those other 3 cases. I will appoint someone today who can begin representing you on the other 3 cases. They'll talk to the state, see if there's anything that can get worked out. If not, we'll get those cases set for trial. And Mr. Smith, you are released on all 3 of those cases.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then as soon as you get that signed, I'll sign it and give you all the copies of that.